Dad Quiet Revenge.
You can sleep on the couch or better yet, get a hotel room. My daughter-in-law Ashley said when her parents suddenly moved in with us like they owned the place. It would be better if you left. We won't have enough room for 5 people. Her father Carl added with a sneer. I moved out in silence. But a week later, panic set in for them. This is impossible. This can't be happening. Ashley screamed after what I did. She didn't know this was just the beginning of my revenge. I'm Gerald Hoffman, 58 years old, and I built this house with my own hands 25 years ago. Every beam, every wall, every corner, I designed it with my late wife, Mary. Construction was my life for 30 years before I retired as a foreman last year. This wasn't just my house, it was my legacy. Mary and I spent months planning every detail from the reinforced foundation to the cathedral ceiling in the living room. She picked the tile patterns, I installed every single one. We planted the oak tree in the front yard together the day we moved in. Now it towers over the roof, providing shade for the kitchen windows where Mary used to stand making coffee every morning. The February morning started like any other. I was checking the foundation for winter settling, something I did every spring since I built the place. The concrete was solid, no cracks, no shifting. Professional work lasts. That's when I heard the rumble of a moving truck backing down my street. I looked up to see a white budget rental backing into my driveway, completely blocking the garage I designed with extra width for my work truck and boat storage. My pulse quickened, but not from the cold morning air. I approached the front door and found it standing wide open, letting out all the heat I'd paid to generate. Inside, my living room looked like a tornado hit it. Boxes everywhere, stacked against walls I'd painted just last summer with Ashley's help, though she'd mostly supervised while I did the actual work. My furniture, the solid oak coffee table I'd handcrafted from lumber salvaged from a tear-down job, the sectional I'd saved 6 months to buy, all shoved aside like junk to make room for someone else's belongings. 2 strangers were directing traffic in my house like they were running a warehouse operation. Carl Morrison was a thick-set man about my age with thinning gray hair, wearing a faded polo shirt tucked into jeans that rode too high on his waist. His voice boomed through the room as he pointed and gestured, treating my son Kevin like hired help. His wife Linda stood beside him, frowning at every box placement and complaining in a voice that could strip paint. She reeked of some flowery perfume that made my sinuses burn, the kind of cheap stuff they sell at discount stores. My son Kevin walked past them carrying a box marked kitchen in black marker. His face was red from exertion, sweat beading on his forehead despite the cold morning. At 33, Kevin should have been the man of his own house, but here he was taking orders like a teenager. Behind him, Ashley, my daughter-in-law of 3 years, wiped her hands on designer jeans that probably cost more than my monthly electric bill. When she noticed me standing in my own doorway, she barely looked up from whatever she was organizing. "Oh, you're back," she said like I'd been gone for weeks instead of the 30 minutes I'd spent checking my property's structural integrity. What's going on here? I kept my voice steady and professional. 30 years managing construction crews taught me to assess situations before reacting. You don't survive that long in construction by flying off the handle every time something goes wrong. Ashley tilted her head in that way she did when she was about to say something she knew I wouldn't like. It was a practice gesture probably learned in some real estate seminar about managing difficult clients. "Dad, Kevin didn't tell you. My parents sold their house and need a place to stay while they close on their new condo. It'll be fine. We're family." The way she called me Dad while using that business tone felt like sandpaper on fresh wood. I looked at Kevin, who was setting down his box with unnecessary force, making the dishes inside rattle. Kevin, he didn't look at me, just stared at the box like it contained explosives. "Dad, I was going to tell you, but things moved fast. Ashley's parents needed help. I thought you'd understand. Understand that strangers are moving into my house without asking me. It's our house too, Dad," Kevin said quietly, still avoiding my eyes. "Ashley and I live here. We make decisions together." The fact that they'd lived here rent-free for 2 years seemed to slip his memory completely. Every utility bill, every repair, every improvement came out of my pocket while they saved money for their future. I'd watched Kevin pick up another box and disappear toward the stairs, shoulders hunched like a man expecting a blow. My own son, reduced to a pack, mule in the house I'd built with my bare hands. Carl dropped into my recliner, the one I'd sat in every evening after work for 8 years, reading the paper or just thinking in the quiet hours after everyone else went to bed. The leather still held the impression of my body shaped by years of use. "This chair's seen better days," Carl announced to nobody in particular, bouncing slightly to test the springs. "When'd you buy it?" "The 80s, 8 years ago," I said, watching him settle into my spot like he belonged there. "Feels older, probably needs replacing." "You might want to upgrade while we're here anyway. This whole place could use some improvements." I said nothing to Carl's comment about upgrading my house. He smiled, mistaking my silence for weakness when it was actually me calculating options. In construction, you learn to assess a situation completely before making your move. Rush into things and you end up with crooked walls or worse. Linda had moved into my kitchen like she was conducting an inspection, opening cabinets, rearranging contents, moving my coffee mugs to make room for her own collection. The kitchen Mary and I had designed together, with the custom cabinets I'd built during weekends and the tile backsplash we'd installed on our 10th anniversary. Linda handled my late wife's dishes like they were garage sale leftovers, stacking them carelessly to make space for her floral tea set. The rest of that day passed in a blur of boxes and violations. I retreated to my bedroom while they claimed territory inch by inch. In the silence behind my closed door, I sat on the bed Mary and I had shared for 20 years and tried to process what was happening. From my dresser, I could hear Linda rearranging things in the guest room. The room Mary had painted soft blue because she said it reminded her of morning skies. Now it echoed with complaints about space and storage. That evening brought fresh humiliation. We gathered around the dining table I'd built from scratch during the first winter in the house. Solid oak assembled piece by piece in this very room because it was too big to fit through the doorways once completed. Mary had watched me work on it for months, bringing me coffee and sandwiches while I sanded and sealed every board by hand. The table had hosted every holiday meal, every birthday celebration, every important conversation of our marriage. Carl dominated dinner conversation immediately, his voice filling every corner of the room Mary and I had shared so quietly for so many years. He'd already adjusted the thermostat twice since arriving, dropping it from my comfortable 72 to 68 degrees, because he claimed the house was stuffy. "It's too cold in here anyway," he said, gesturing at the walls I'd insulated myself. "What do you have this place set to?" 72, I replied, cutting my meatloaf into precise pieces. 72, that's practically tropical. We'll have to establish some house rules if we're all going to live together comfortably. The phrase house rules hung in the air like sawdust after a cut. This was my house, built to my specifications, maintained by my labor, paid for by my work. I'd never needed house rules before because I'd never had uninvited guests making demands. Linda picked at her food, then looked up with the kind of fake concern I'd seen on customer service representatives. "Is the guest room always this cramped? My dresser barely fits, and Carl's clothes are piling up because there's no proper closet space." "It's a standard bedroom," I said, keeping my voice level. "More than adequate for temporary visitors." "Well, I suppose we'll manage somehow," she sighed dramatically, "though I don't understand how you live comfortably in such a small space. Carl and I are accustomed to more room for our belongings." Ashley reached over and touched her mother's arm sympathetically, completely ignoring the way my grip tightened on my fork. This was the same guest room where Mary's sister had stayed comfortably for 2 weeks after her surgery. The same room where Kevin had slept every summer as a teenager when he'd visit for construction projects. Apparently, what had been good enough for family wasn't adequate for the Morrisons. Kevin studied his plate like it contained blueprint specifications he needed to memorize. Throughout the entire meal, he said maybe 10 words total, all of them please pass or thank you. My son had turned into a stranger in the house I'd built for our family. After dinner, I tried talking to Kevin alone in the garage. The TV was already blaring from the living room, some channel I'd never watched, volume cranked higher than I'd ever set it. I could hear Carl's laugh booming over the canned sitcom laughter, claiming my space like he'd paid for the privilege. "Son, what's really going on here? Why didn't you discuss this with me first?" Kevin finally looked at me but couldn't hold my gaze for more than a few seconds. "It just happened fast, Dad. Ashley's parents needed help and I thought you'd understand. You've always been generous with family. It's just a few months while they get settled. A few months of strangers living in my house without anyone asking my permission. It's our house too, Dad. Ashley and I live here. We contribute to the household." I wanted to ask him what exactly they contributed besides occasional grocery runs and the privilege of my company, but I held my tongue. They'd lived here rent-free for 2 years while saving money for their future. Every utility bill, every repair, every upgrade came out of my retirement savings while they built their nest egg. "We make decisions together now," Kevin continued, his voice getting smaller with each word. "Ashley and me. That's how marriage works." Before I could explain that marriage doesn't give you the right to invite in-laws to move into someone else's property, he brushed past me toward the house. "I don't want to make this harder than it has to be," he said over his shoulder, leaving me alone in the garage, surrounded by the tools I'd used to build the house they were systematically taking over. That night, I lay in my bed listening to the Morrisons moving around upstairs, rearranging furniture, and discussing their displeasure with accommodations I'd never invited them to enjoy. 3 days changed everything. 72 hours of systematic invasion that turned my home into something I barely recognized. each small violation adding weight to the pressure building in my chest, like watching someone slowly dismantle something you'd spent years building. Carl changed the thermostat 6 times that I counted, always turning it down to 66 or 68 degrees until the house felt like winter had moved indoors. My heating bills were going to be murder, running the furnace constantly to fight his adjustments. Every time I'd set it back to 72, I'd return an hour later to find it dropped again. When I mentioned the cost of heating, Carl just shrugged and said retired people needed to watch their expenses anyway. My favorite parking spot, right by the side door I'd installed for easier access to the kitchen, disappeared daily. Claimed by his old Buick with the faded paint and rusted bumper that dripped oil on the driveway I'd sealed myself last fall. I'd designed that parking arrangement specifically for convenience, measuring angles and distances to make grocery carrying easier as Mary and I got older. Now I parked on the street like a visitor to my own home. In the bathroom Mary and I had renovated 5 years ago, my toiletries got relocated to a bottom shelf to make room for Linda's extensive collection of lotions, powders, and creams that seemed to multiply overnight. The medicine cabinet we'd carefully organized together now overflowed with products I didn't recognize, pills in bottles with names I couldn't pronounce, and enough beauty supplies to stock a small pharmacy. Tuesday morning, I discovered Ashley going through my mail on the kitchen counter. She'd opened my bank statement, my personal correspondence, and left the envelope torn open like discarded wrapping paper. I thought it might be important, she said when I asked about it, not bothering to look up from her phone where she was scrolling through real estate listings. You get so much mail, I figured I'd help sort through it. The statement showed my savings account balance, my pension deposits, my investment portfolio, private financial information that was none of her business. I'd built that nest egg over 30 years of careful saving and smart investments. Seeing her casual violation of my privacy felt like finding fingerprints on something sacred. Wednesday brought a new low. I returned from my evening walk around the neighborhood, the same route Mary and I had taken together for years, to find my leftovers gone from the refrigerator. The meatloaf I'd made Monday night, carefully portioned for 2 more meals to stretch my grocery budget, had vanished completely. Carl was sitting in my recliner, picking his teeth with casual satisfaction, TV remote in his hand like a scepter. "It was good," he said, without looking away from the screen. "You should make more." Linda's been saying you need to contribute more to meal preparation anyway, since we're all sharing expenses now. Sharing expenses. I'd been paying every bill in this house for 2 years while Kevin and Ashley lived rent-free, and now these uninvited guests were talking about sharing expenses. The irony would have been funny if it weren't so infuriating. Thursday morning at 6:30, I went downstairs to find everyone already gathered in the kitchen like they were staging an intervention. This was wrong immediately. Kevin and Ashley never surfaced before 7:30 on their best days. Carl usually slept until 8, complaining about the morning light filtering through curtains Mary had hung to catch the sunrise. Linda spent most mornings in bed with coffee and gossip magazines. Yet here they were, coffee made, toast prepared, sitting around my handcrafted table like a board of directors waiting to deliver bad news. They'd been waiting for me. The setup was too neat, too organized, too rehearsed to be coincidental. Ashley sat with her back straight, hands folded on the table in her business presentation posture, the same stance she used when showing houses to reluctant buyers. Carl leaned back in his chair like a judge preparing to deliver a verdict that had already been decided. Linda picked at her food without eating, playing the role of concerned family member. Kevin studied his eggs with unusual intensity, avoiding eye contact like he was afraid I might read his thoughts. "Dad, we need to discuss the sleeping arrangements," Ashley began, her voice carrying the rehearsed efficiency of a real estate agent closing a difficult deal. With 5 adults in the house, we're running out of comfortable space for everyone. I set down my coffee mug carefully, taking time to process what I was hearing. 5 adults. Exactly, Kevin and I have our room. My parents have the guest room, and you have the master bedroom. But honestly, my parents need more storage space for their belongings. They're not used to living out of suitcases. The audacity was breathtaking. They'd moved into my house uninvited, and now they were critiquing the accommodations. "So we thought," Ashley continued, "you could sleep on the couch for a few weeks while we get everything organized. Or honestly, a hotel room might be more comfortable for you. Give you some space while we figure out the long-term arrangements." The long-term arrangements. "For my house? Are you asking me to leave my bedroom in my own house?" I asked, proud of how steady my voice remained. Ashley's expression shifted into practiced patience, the kind customer service representatives use with difficult clients. "It's not just your house anymore, Dad. Kevin lives here too. We're all trying to make this situation work for everyone involved." Before I could formulate a response that wouldn't involve construction language, Carl interrupted with the casual cruelty of someone who'd never built anything in his life. "Let's be realistic here, Gerald. 5 people in this place is too crowded for everyone to be comfortable. Someone needs to make room and you're retired. You have time and flexibility the rest of us don't have. We all have jobs and responsibilities. It makes practical sense for you to find somewhere else to stay, at least temporarily, maybe permanently, depending on how things work out. We could discuss some kind of arrangement, an arrangement. For the house I'd built with my own hands, paid for with my own labor, maintained with my own sweat and savings. What kind of arrangement, I asked. Carl shrugged, dismissing 30 years of my work with a gesture. Financial arrangements, shared ownership, whatever makes sense for everyone. I'm just being practical about the situation. No need to get emotional or sentimental about it. I looked at Kevin one more time. He was the only person at this table whose opinion mattered to me, the only one who could change what happened next. Kevin, look at me. He raised his eyes slowly but couldn't hold my gaze for more than a few seconds. The weakness I saw there told me everything I needed to know about where his loyalties lay. Do you want me to leave my own house? I asked directly. Dad, his voice barely made it across the table. It's not that simple. Ashley's parents need help. It's just temporary while they get settled. I didn't ask if it's temporary. I asked if you want me to leave. Kevin went back to his eggs, fork scraping against the plate like he was trying to carve his way out of the conversation. Can't we just try to make this work without making it harder than it has to be? I stood up. My chair scraped against the floor, loud in the suddenly quiet kitchen. Linda spoke then, her voice dripping with the kind of fake sweetness that makes your teeth ache. Gerald, dear, we're not trying to kick you out of anywhere, but you have to understand, at our age, Carl and I need certain comforts. That guest room is barely big enough for our bed, let alone storage for our clothing and personal items. Surely you can see the reasonableness of our request. I see that you moved into my house without asking me and now want me to leave it. Her expression shifted to wounded innocence, like I'd just kicked a puppy. There's absolutely no need for that kind of attitude. We're family now. Family helps each other through difficult times. Family asks permission first. I walked out of the kitchen, climbed the stairs to my bedroom, and closed the door behind me. For the next 90 minutes, I could hear them downstairs discussing my unreasonable response to their perfectly reasonable request. Their voices carried through the heating vents I'd installed myself, a feature that had been convenient when Mary and I wanted to hear if Kevin was getting into trouble as a teenager. Now it felt like surveillance equipment. I pulled my suitcase from the closet and began packing methodically. Work clothes, casual clothes, important documents, laptop, chargers, everything I'd need for an extended absence from the house I'd built with my own hands. 90 minutes later, I descended the stairs with my rolling suitcase and laptop bag. They'd moved to the living room like an audience waiting for the final act of a play they'd written themselves. Carl had claimed my recliner again. Linda sat next to Ashley on the sofa I'd bought with my first construction bonus. Kevin stood by the window I'd installed to catch morning light, his posture defensive and uncomfortable. "Oh, are you really leaving?" Ashley asked, managing to sound both surprised and satisfied. "You told me to leave? I'm leaving." Kevin finally spoke, turning away from the window. "Dad, wait. We can talk about this more. Work something out. You already made your decision at breakfast when you said nothing while your wife and her parents planned my eviction." I walked out, closing the door with firm finality. Through the front window, I saw them frozen in place, watching my truck pull away from the house I'd poured my life into building. The Desert Inn Motel was 12 minutes away on the highway I'd helped widen during my early construction days. Nothing fancy, 2 stories of beige stucco with exterior doors facing a parking lot full of work trucks and traveling salesmen's sedans. But it was clean, quiet, and most importantly, it was space nobody had invaded without my permission. The desk clerk was a young woman who looked at my face and saw something that made her expression soften. How many nights? I'm not sure yet. "Let's start with a week." She typed something, paused, then looked up. "I'm putting you in 214. It has a good desk and strong Wi-Fi. Looks like you might need space to work." First genuine kindness I'd felt in 4 days. The room smelled of industrial cleaning products and old carpet, but it had what I needed: bed, desk, chair, bathroom, and blessed silence. I put my suitcase by the closet and opened my laptop bag on the desk. Time to do what I'd learned in 30 years of construction management: document problems and build solutions. From my wallet, I pulled out a business card I'd kept for 3 years. Victoria Ross, attorney at law. She'd helped 2 of my former crew members with property disputes and came highly recommended for no-nonsense legal work. I spent the evening creating a detailed timeline of events, dates, times, conversations, financial information. By midnight, I had 5 pages of documentation and a clear understanding of my legal position. The next morning, Victoria's office scheduled me for a 2 p.m. appointment. Victoria Ross was sharp, late 40s, with steel-gray hair and eyes that assessed everything quickly and accurately. I handed her my timeline and supporting documents. Most clients come in emotional and scattered. She said after reading everything, "You've organized this like a professional case file, 30 years managing construction projects. I know how to document problems systematically." She opened several law books and spread them across her desk. "Mr. Hoffman, let me be direct about your situation. This is your house, your name on the deed, no co-owners, no joint ownership agreements. Your son living there doesn't create property rights for him or anyone else. Legally, they're all guests, and you can revoke that invitation at any time. Ashley claims it's Kevin's house too because he lives there. Living somewhere doesn't create ownership. The governor's mansion houses many people, but only one person has legal authority over it. Your son is an adult child living rent-free, which makes him a guest with no ownership rights whatsoever." We spent an hour discussing legal options. The Morrisons, having no lease or rental agreement, could be served with a simple 30-day notice to vacate. Kevin and Ashley were more complicated due to their extended stay, but still had no legal claim to the property. "There's also the matter of that loan," I mentioned. Victoria's eyebrows raised as I showed her the email chain from May 2022. Kevin's promised to repay $30,000 at $1,000 per month, starting the month after receiving the money. The bank transfer confirmation, 0 payments in almost 3 years. "This is a textbook breach of contract case," she said. "Documented loan agreement, clear repayment terms, complete failure to perform. With 3 years of missed payments plus interest, you're looking at approximately $35,400 total honor. Can we pursue both cases simultaneously?" "Absolutely. Property eviction and debt collection are separate legal matters. They chose to make your life difficult. Now they can deal with the consequences through proper legal channels." The legal documents were ready by Friday afternoon. Official letterhead, proper citations, notary seals. The eviction notice gave the Morrisons 30 days to vacate. The debt collection notice informed Kevin of the lawsuit for $35,400 payable immediately or subject to court action. Saturday morning, I waited until Kevin and Ashley left for their weekend errands, then used my garage door opener to enter through the side door I'd installed myself. They'd forgotten to change that code, a mistake that would cost them. The house looked like a disaster zone. My furniture shoved against walls, my belongings scattered and displaced, holes in walls where they'd hung pictures without asking. I photographed everything with my phone, building evidence for potential property damage claims. Peterson Security arrived within 2 hours. Professional lock changes on all exterior doors, front, back, garage, side entrance. Grade 1 commercial deadbolts that couldn't be picked by amateurs. By noon, the house was secure and under my control again. I taped the eviction notice to the front door where they couldn't miss it, then installed security cameras to monitor their reaction. Everything documented, everything legal, everything final. I spent 30 years building houses. It only took 30 days to teach my family that some foundations can't be moved. Blood doesn't give you property rights, and family doesn't mean accepting disrespect. Some lessons cost $35,400 to learn.